Hey everybody, my name is Anna and I want to welcome you back to my craft room for another episode of Tales from the Craft Room. Now, I haven't gotten a whole lot done. We've been kind of busy, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It is a good thing, to be exact. I have been doing some cleaning and rearranging and organizing and discovering of things that I didn't know that I had. I forgot that I had some things. But I've been doing a little bit of that in the craft room, trying to get things a little more organized so that I have room to do things. I can actually get in here and move around and whatnot. So, first thing, I'm going to show you some pictures because I don't want to do a video because it is kind of cramped in here. I will try to remember to put a link in the description box below of the video, but I think back in December, I did a video on just how big is my craft room. It's not that big. I can't remember the exact dimensions, but it's a little bit bigger than 4 foot by 8 foot. Not a whole lot. But like I said, I'll try to put that video down in the description box below for you guys. I do have a small craft room. I am learning how to pack a lot of stuff in here, especially things that I want to do. I try to keep all my yarn and stuff in here instead of scattered around, which that can be challenging. And as I get new things and whatnot, I have to try and find places to put those. So, that being said, here's a picture of what I have done to my craft room recently, looking in from the door. I do have my totes stacked in front of my window, which right now that's not that big of a deal because it's a little too chilly to be opening the windows anyway. And as you can see on that back wall, I do also have that new bookcase that I got. I do have yarn on it because, like I said, I was going through totes and cleaning and whatnot, and I found yarn that I completely forgot that I had. Now, I do have more yarn. That's what's actually up on that bookshelf, and as you will see here in just a little bit, in my yarn cabinet. But the yarns that I don't have in there are the natural fiber yarns, like wool. And I think I've got some silk yarn that I got from Darn Good Yarn several years back and stuff like that. So that's the only yarns that are not on my shelves. I need to get busy. I have a lot of yarn that I would like to use so that I have legitimate reason to go buy some more. Because as you can see behind me, this is looking... Well, you can pretty much see what you're going to see in this next picture. But as you can see behind me, this is my yarn cabinet. And in this picture, you can see from pretty much the window over this way, this is pretty much full. And I do have 2 drawers on the bottom. The first drawer has the yarns that are in packages, you know, like the zipper packages, like this. This is some cotton yarn that I got. It has a project that's already started in it, but I'm not going to finish it. But this top drawer has that kind of yarn. If the yarn was in a package, I just stuck it down in here. And then the bottom drawer has my looms and some embroidery thread, and I have my crochet cotton down in this bottom drawer. So that does help. I would eventually like to find some more shelves to put in here so that I can, I've got a spot on my wall over there which is pretty much empty, and if I could get some shelving to put on the wall in that space, that would be perfect. So we'll see what we find and what happens. So enough of that. Enough about my craft room. As you can see, it's always a work in progress. My craft room is always a whip because I'm constantly changing and rearranging and adding and taking away and everything else. But on to more exciting things, fiber things. First thing I want to show you, this is non-fiber, but I seen this over at our shop today. This is something that we've gotten in one of the storage auction thingies. And seeing the bottom of it, I was like, I have something that'll fit on. And I think this might have been for a lamp or something like that. I don't know. All we got was the globe part. And I told hubby I was going to bring it home. Well, I didn't tell him, I just brought it home. But I bought a pillar candle because with all kinds of candle holders, there's no reason for me to be buying, you know, candles and glass jars and stuff. I can just get the votives and the pillar candles and stuff like that that do not have jars or containers with them, because I've got plenty of those. This fits pretty much perfectly on this candle holder. Now it's a little bit off. That's kind of cool how that reflects the light. The globe is a little bit off because of the way I had to set the candle down on the holder. It has a little spike that'll hold the candle in place, but because of the way the wick was placed in that, I had to move it over a little bit, but I think it'll be fine. I really do like it. It does definitely brighten up the room. It does need cleaned, but it's a nice addition to my candle. So anyway, on to the crafty stuff. The only finished item that I have is a washcloth, and I went ahead, I showed you guys last week how to do the Tunisian, what I call ladder stitch. And this was my example that I used to show you guys. I still have the tail, haven't done anything to it, but this is the example that I used. And the cotton that I was using in the video to explain how to do the stitch is this blue. And I went ahead, and I didn't make this a dishcloth, I made it a washcloth. And I went ahead and I cut it down to, I think there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. There's like 31 stitches, 32 stitches, something like that. But I got it down to dishcloth size. I think it turned out really cool. The only problem is I had some yarn left over, and my friend was like, well, why don't you put a single crochet border around it? Perfect. I almost had enough yarn. I ended here, and this would have been my last stitch. So close. So close. But I'm going to add this to my stack. It's really cool, really just like the other one. This one was, I love this yarn. I love this cotton. This is actually Lily Sugar and Cream. Oh, there's the back of it. But anyway, this was Lily Sugar and Cream. And I can't remember. I thought it was poolside, but I don't think that's poolside because... No, it might be poolside. Because that one's not poolside. I thought it was. But anyway, I don't know what color this yarn is, but I really like it. And I will try to also remember to put a link to that video that I showed you how to do this stitch in the description box. It is actually the last video that I put up about a week ago. So anyway, that's the only thing that I have finished. And since I had a lot of fun doing these, I thought I would play around with some other Tunisian crochet stitches that I could do that would lay flat and not curl up when you made them. So let me get into my bag here. I've switched bags. I'm putting everything in my backpack now. I don't know, just because get more stuff in the backpack. But anyway, I actually have 2 different ones, and I will definitely be putting videos up for these. I don't know, hopefully I can get one done this week. I'll have to finish one of my washcloths or dishcloths first, or not necessarily. I could probably, you know, do the pattern and then, let me check this real quick and see who that is. Okay. Do the pattern, you know, show you the pattern and then show the finished project at the very beginning after I finished it. Just take a picture of it or whatever. But this is one of them that I've done, and I'm obviously running out of yarn, so I'm going to go right here. There's a bag of cotton scraps. I'm going to grab some of those and add on to this. This can be for my personal collection. If it's scraps like this, I'm not going to give it to somebody. But this is really done with Tunisian crochet. I don't know if you guys can see that. It looks like it's knitted, which it kind of is. Here's the back side of it. But what I have done, and I don't know if this is an actual stitch, and it does lay flat. It is not really curled at all. It's probably just because of my tension that it's even like that. But what I'm doing is, you guys are familiar with the extended Tunisian. I've done it before, which I do plan on doing a washcloth with that too. I've done those, and those are pretty cool. It's another lay flat pattern. But this is a Tunisian extended knit stitch, if that makes any sense. So I'm just doing the knit stitch and then doing the extra little, adding a loop to it, which gives you the extra row here in the middle in between your two return stitches, which makes it look like it's knitted. Pretty cool. That was just some random, hey, let's give it a try and see if it works. And obviously it did work. So I need to finish that one up. The other one that I have here is, I thought the stitch looked familiar. Once again, I couldn't remember whether I'd done the stitch or not, because I'm going through a book that I have that I found on the internet and going through and trying different stitches just to try them. And I thought the stitch looked familiar, and it dawned on to me that it's one that I did a few years back, and I called it Tunisian waffles, which I will try and remember to link that down in the description box as well, so that you guys can go back and watch that video if you'd like to. But I do plan on putting up a new up-to-date video on my channel for doing this. But it's actually called the Tunisian mesh stitch. As you can see, it's nice and open there. And I thought it looked like waffles, like the Belgian waffles with the holes in the middle. But that's what I have so far. I do have plenty of yarn on this, so I might just go ahead and make the video and show how to do this stitch as well. And then I can finish it off and do the beginning part of my video. So those are two things that I have been working on. I don't have it with me, but because I got frustrated with it, it's hanging up over there and I don't want to go get it. But I did about 2 rows, well, half a row and then another maybe half a row or almost a full row of the unicorn cross stitch project. But it's a Tunisian project and I'm cross stitching a unicorn on it. If you're new here or if you've forgotten about that project, I've been working on it for 2 months now. I started it back on November 11th. I got it out on December 11th, and not planned, and I got it back out on January 11th. But I got really frustrated because every time I got it out to do something with it, I got interrupted. So I just put it back in the bag and hung it back up and said, I'm done. The only other thing that I have that I started, what is this? Oh, I started it, it's not it. Started it this afternoon. Hopefully I stuck it back in here. I stuck it somewhere, I promise. There it is. I stuck it in the wrong spot. I am using this yarn. Fan's blowing in my face, drying my throat out. Not fan, heater. But I got this yarn. This was gifted to me from my sister. I got some more of it right up here on the top shelf. We got 2 more right there. So I know I'll have plenty to do what I want to do. But I started a knit hat. One of the things I said I wanted to do with this yarn when I first got it was I wanted to make a hat. So I got the hat. I need to double check my stitches, my beginning stitches, which I didn't do the long tail cast on or just a normal cast on or whatever cast ons. I actually did the crochet cast on. I think it makes the bottom of, that's probably hard to see. There we go. I think it makes the bottom of the hat look really neat and clean and finished. I really like the crochet cast on when I do my knit hats. It's something that I decided to do a couple hats ago and just really thought it looked nice. But I've counted that like twice, and both times I've come up with a different number. So I don't know if I have too many or if I'm just, you know, miscounting my stitches. I'm going to recount them again and double check. And the pattern that I'm using is the same one that I use for all of my hats. And I don't know, I might make this one a flat one, like a kitty cat hat. We'll have to see. I have DPNs that could work for this, but we shall see. But I am using the Ross hat. the one I always use. You can find him on Instagram, not Instagram, well there too, but on YouTube or his website, Smells Like Yarn. That's where you can find him on YouTube, or you can find his website, smellslikeyarn.com. It's right down there at the bottom. Smellslikeyarn.com. And it's just his basic generic hat pattern, and I'm doing it for the size 3 or lightweight. It's supposed to be a worsted weight yarn, but it's a little small for that, so I opted to do the lightweight. And I'm actually using a pair of knitting needles that I got at that super duper bargain flea market haul here a while back. I'm using a size 4 needle, which I'm super excited. I started a hat. Are you guys surprised? I didn't think so. But anyway, that's what I got for you guys this week. That's what I've been up to. I still got more work that I need to do in here, and there's other projects besides crocheting that I would like to get started on and do and experiment with and try. Oh, one more thing before I go. I'm going to put a link to my blog down in the description box as well. Make sure you go check that out. There is a way that you can follow by email, or you can, if you're on WordPress or you have a WordPress, I can't remember what it's called, whatever the WordPress account thing is called, there's a way you can follow by either way, either by email or by following me on WordPress Reader. I have all of my crochet with me's or how-tos on there listed by category, like Tunisian crochet, knit, regular crochet. You can click on all those by what you're interested in and see everything that I have posted on YouTube for a how-to or a make with me video. So go check that out. And I have been putting things up there on my blog because it's a lot quicker to post a picture, write a little bit, I can put it down, get interrupted, go right back to it and post it, and it takes honestly less time. And for me right now, being as busy as we are, it's a lot easier to get something out more often than I am here on YouTube. So make sure you check that out. And if you want to follow me, you can get my posts in email instead of having to go read that. And it's just talesfromthecraftroom.net. Like I said, I'll put that down in the description for you to go check out. So I want to thank you guys for joining me here in the craft room, and I will see you right back here for my next video.